Where now is the horse and the rider? Where is the horn that was blowing? Where is the helm and the harper and the bright hair flowing? Where is the hand on the harp string and the red fire glowing? They have passed like rain on the mountain, like a wind in the meadow. The days have gone down in the west, behind the hill, into shadow. Who shall gather the smoke of a dead wood burning, or behold the flowing years from the sea returning? Thus spoke a forgotten poem long ago, in Rohan, recalling how tall and fair was Eotheod the young, who rode down out of the north. Welcome to Tales of Arda, where we discuss and explore Middle-earth. Today's video is the first of a two-part series about the origins and history of Rohan. In this video we will cover the kingdom of Rhovainion and Eotheod. So without further ado, let's get into it. The Northmen are descendants from the group of Edain who left their kin and stayed in Rhovainion. The Baronians were on the vanguard, and the Hadorians followed on their trail. The latter were divided while passing through Greenwood. Some reached the Vales of Anduin, and others turned northwards, while others passed between the northmost eaves of the wood and the arid Mithrim. Only a few of them reached Eridor and then Beleriand. As such, the Northmen appeared to be kin to the house of Hador, who stayed behind in Rhovainion. The kings of Gondor recognized their common ancestry with the men of Rhovainion and showed them great favor. For a time, many of them even became subjects of Gondor, as the realm extended beyond the river Anduin. In 1000 of the Third Age, they were given wide lands south of Greenwood the Great to serve as an ally against the Easterlings. They increased greatly during Gondor's Golden Age. However, some Northmen were hostile to Gondor and often assailed the kingdom. In the days of Macleod I, some Northmen joined the Easterlings when they resumed their attacks. In the 14th century of the Third Age, Medhok, now as king of Gondor, ensured their loyalty by crushing the Easterlings in 12,048 of the Third Age with the help of Prince Vidugavir. He sent his son Valakar as an ambassador to Vidugavir, the so-called king of Rhovainion. Valakar married the daughter of the king, Vidumavi, and their son Vinthaya succeeded him as King Eldakar. His mixed ancestry caused a civil war in Gondor, the Kinstrife, in 1447 of the Third Age. The horsemen of Rhovainion were weakened by the Great Plague, which appeared in the winter of 1635 of the Third Age, and soon spread to Gondor. The horsemen suffered greatly, being little skilled in arts of healing and medicine. The plague resulted in the deaths of half of the population of Rhovainion, and also of their horses. They were slow to recover, but were undisturbed since the hostile Easterlings had been equally affected. When the invasion of the Wain Riders began, the Northmen under their leader Marhari suffered the first assaults. Their scattered remains were recruited by King Macleod II, who took a great army north into the plains south of Mirkwood. They were defeated in the Battle of the Plains in 1856 of the Third Age, where Narmasil and Mahari were killed. Most of the Northmen were made into slaves, and all their former lands were occupied by the Wain Riders. A few managed to flee over Caledon and were merged with their kin, the folk of Dale under Erebor, and others followed Marquini to his lands beside Anduin and became the ancestors of Eotheod. That was until around 1899, when Marquini warned Calimethar that the Wain Riders were plotting to raid Calinarthon over the Undeeps. But the enslaved Northmen also prepared a revolt against the Wain Riders. Calimethar therefore provoked the Wain Riders out of Ophelion, and his horsemen, joined by a large Eotheod sent by Marhuini drove the Wayne riders back. Meanwhile, outlaws and roused slaves from Mirkwood burnt many Wayne riders' settlements. Marhuini and his people returned to his land beside Anduin, and the Northmen never again returned to their former homes. They were soon joined by many fugitives from Mirkwood, whose lands were taken by the Wayne riders. They established themselves between the eastern bank of the river Anduin and the western end of Mirkwood. In the time of Forfwini, the Eotheod were troubled again by raids into the south of their land, both up the river and through the narrows of Mirkwood. The lord of the Eotheod then warned King Onderher that the Wayne riders were recovering. Their attack finally came in around 1944, and men of Eotheod fought with Onderher. Faramir, son of Onderher, refused to remain in Minas Tirith and joined a battalion of Eotheod, but was caught with a party of them as they retreated towards the Dead Marshes. The leader of the Eotheod did not manage to save him, and Faramir died in his arms. Eventually, the Wayne riders were defeated by Eonar II at the Battle of the Camp. In 1973 of the Third Age, some princes of the Northmen and fair riders on horses from the vales of the Anduin joined the Gondorian forces and fought against Angmar. 2 years after the fall of Angmar, Lord Frumgar led the Eotheod to a new land north of Mirkwood between the Misty Mountains and the Forest River, away from the ravages of orcs. Some time later, their king, Fram, son of Frumgar, slew the dragon Scaffa. The Northmen named their capital Framsburg after their hero, Fram. More on Scaffa and Fram can be found in last week's video. Later, King Leod was killed trying to tame the horse Felaroth, first of the Merus of Rohan. His son El tamed the horse, taking it into service as compensation for his father's death. During the rule of the Stewart Cirion, the bulk of Easterlings invaded Gondor. Cirion sent 6 riders to the north in order to seek aid from the riders of Eotheod. Of these, only Borundus survived and came to the city of Framsburg. King Eorl answered the call for help and rode out with most of the Eotheod to help their allies of old. He rode south to the field of Celbrand, which was the place that Gondor's armies had been pushed back to. Next week we will cover the Battle of the Field of Celbrand, the Oath of Cirion and Eorl, and the history of Rohan. Be sure to click subscribe so you be notified when the next video comes out.